Hello, welcome back to Whisky Wednesday. I'm Joe, and every Wednesday I do whisky video reviews. So for the next 4 weeks, as you can see, I'm going to be reviewing 4 different Bruichladdich whiskies. Now, Bruichladdich are a distillery on Islay. They produce around about 1.5 million litres of whisky a year, or that's their kind of capacity. So that's the most they can produce, 1.5 million litres a year. And they're a kind of strange distillery because they produce everything from unpeated whisky through to the most heavily peated whisky. So all these ones here are their Bruichladdich range. They're unpeated. They then do a moderately peated range called Port Charlotte, and then they make the most heavily peated whisky in the world, which is the Octomore. They're all non-chill filtered, and they're all natural colouring, and all of them, I think, are at least 46%. We're going to be starting this week with the organic. So I'm going to put these to the side for now. Put on here. It just seems a bit weird, like this week it seems to have taken a while, so it feels like I haven't been with you guys for a while. But here we are again. Another Wednesday, another whisky. Starting with Bruichladdich Organic. Now the idea behind the organic is that the barley they use is 100% certified organic barley. It's bottled at 46%, non-chill filtered, and natural colouring. And you'll notice it hasn't got an age statement on. It's what they call a multi-vintage, so they've used a variety of ages. So rather than bottling, 10-year-old, they can use a different amount of ages. They can use some 5-year-old whisky, some 12-year-old whisky, and so on. And so it creates a really good flavour rather than going for a specific age. So kind of colour, just that kind of classic hay-like, straw, kind of golden yellow. On the nose. On the nose I'm getting kind of sweet vanilla. And from the colour, it's pretty obviously bourbon cask matured. Maybe a mixture of kind of like first fill, second fill. So sweet vanilla. There's, even though it's not peated, you do get that slight, in the background on the nose, it's a slight, it's a hint of peat. Kind of, and don't take this isn't a bad thing, but there's a slight kind of cheesy note, and that's not a bad thing. It just, kind of like hard cheese. Yeah, and I say it's not in a bad way. It's really quite pleasant. And after you get past the vanilla, there's quite a lot of fruitiness. So a slight kind of tropical fruit note, like kind of papaya. And then I'm getting kind of more of the vanilla, so kind of almonds come through, almond paste, marzipan. It's a little bit kind of fruit and nut. And then I'm also getting a bit of coconut as well, kind of creamy coconut. Right, let's give it a taste. 46%. Non-chill filtered and natural colouring, as it should be. Wow. On the palate, kind of fruit puree. Lots of those kind of vanilla, custardy flavours. Almost reminds me of like an egg custard slice. Kind of sweeter, kind of pastry, buttery creaminess. Another taste. On the second taste, as it's kind of opening up more and my palate's getting used to the alcohol, kind of tropical fruit notes dominate. So again, that kind of papaya comes through. There's a hint of citrus, so quite kind of fresh citrus notes. And there's also a slight briny note on the palate as well. That kind of slight saltiness, which is really nice. Let's give it a third and final taste. Now, it's quite a refreshing whiskey, quite a summery whiskey. Light, kind of light-bodied, very fresh, as I say, fruity. It almost reminds me of like a grain whiskey in the sense that it's a kind of lighter, sweeter, slightly more of those kind of custardy, vanilla-y notes to it. Finish, it's kind of it's a sweet finish. It's fresh. Not hugely long, but it's got a really kind of pleasant feeling. It's quite kind of tingly, that kind of fresh, citrusy burst that you get. Really good little whiskey. I think they've actually released a slightly different version of this now. This is a bottle from about a year or so ago. It should still be available on the market. But yeah, they're releasing lots and lots and lots of different expressions, Bruichladdich. So yeah, to give it a mark, thoroughly pleasant, very, very enjoyable, quite challenging as well. It's not the most simplistic of whiskies, but to market, I'm going to give that 7.5 out of 10. Really, really good summer whiskey. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for the Bruichladdich Organic, 46%. Thanks for watching, please share the video and I will see you next week guys. Cheers.